Welcome back to Footage Fanatics. We did the BAFTA Awards recap last week, and now we're just, as I said, 5 days away from the Oscars. Let's go ahead and start breaking it down category by category. Eric, which category should we start with first?
Well, we're going to have a little bit of a build-up, so we're going to start with the visual effects.
Visual effects.
Visual effects under this category, Ex Machina was nominated. Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and also Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay,
so let's go through it. Brandon, kick it off.
Well, this one's tough. There's some bias in this,
Of course.
but I think there's two that, I mean, The Martian was pretty good. Ex Machina I haven't seen, but I heard it was
amazing.
It was amazing. So I would say it's between Mad Max and Star Wars. Obviously, Star Wars is going to be up there just because it's Star Wars and it has so much CGI in it, and to where you can make it so good with all that CGI. I mean, it's always going to be
Has
up
any
there.
of the Star Wars movies been nominated for
I think they've
an
always
Oscar?
been nominated.
They
For visual
always have?
effects?
For visual effects, sound editing, all those type of things.
Okay.
It's always been nominated, and it usually wins.
But never for like story or anything like that, really.
Screenplay. And
No, I don't think so.
I think the original A New Hope won for
Yeah,
Best Original
maybe
Screenplay.
A New
okay.
Hope, but
Okay,
absolutely.
interesting. All right.
I'm going to go with Mad Max. As great as I think the CGI was with Star Wars, and again, phenomenal, the lack of CGI, or not lack of, because obviously they didn't need it clearly in Mad Max, but just all the original effects, everything they did live, it was incredible. I mean, we're talking about all the cars they built and made for this movie, and those scenes where you had up to 30, 40 cars at one time, all driving together, all made, nothing CGI. That is, those scenes in itself, even though the plot itself, the second time I did watch the movie, again, we're talking about visual effects right now, so this doesn't apply, but the second time I watched, I didn't like it as much the first time, but in terms of the visual effects overall, as great as Star Wars was, even you see the Star Wars tie and the Star Wars pin, I can't even put my Star Wars bias on this because of all that visual effects that Mad Max did.
Though.
They are
So
complete
It
opposites.
depends on what they're looking at. Are they looking at the CGI and all of that, or are they looking at the real effects?
Original
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's between Ex Machina and Mad Max. I agree with you. The originality with the set and the stunts and everything like that.
Side note, the dude with the guitar in Mad Max
I
was
don't know
so
what the point-
incredible.
I don't know what the point of
There
it
is
was,
no point, but it
he
was amazing.
awesome.
It was so incredible.
I loved it.
It's like, sure, why not?
Sure, why
Just some
not?
dude rocking out, giving you guys a theme song as you're going on this trek.
Would
to
you love
find,
that
you know.
though?
Yeah.
For a
it was
bad guy?
tribal.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was
That
amazing.
was my favorite.
It was awesome, yeah.
Let's move on to original screenplay. Let's do that.
What did Eric, did you get your pick
Oh,
in for
yeah,
visual
did you
effects?
do that?
I'm with you guys. It's between Mad Max and Star Wars, and I think it's quite amazing. So I would go with Star Wars.
Okay,
The Force
all right.
Awakens. I
What's
think
next?
if it doesn't win sound editing or sound mixing, I think it's got to win something. It's a Star Wars movie,
it'll
and
win
it will win something. But if it's not sound editing or mixing, which they are both nominated for, definitely
What's
visual
next?
effects.
Original screenplay. So Bridge of Spies. Is it Machina?
Machina.
Machina. Ex Machina. Inside Out, that new Disney movie that came out. Spotlight and Straight Outta Compton. I love Straight Outta Compton. That movie
Is that your pick?
was amazing. I'm gonna say Straight Outta Compton. I think it was a phenomenal story. Yes. Yeah. That's my pick.
This is a tough one, I think. And again, I actually missed the second half of the movie. I got to go back and finish it. But from what I saw, and again, so that isn't a complete judgment, but from what I saw, Bridge of Spies, it's pretty phenomenal.
That's with Tom Hanks.
And Spielberg directing.
Steven-
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Steven
It's.
Spielberg.
I think I'm gonna go with Bridge of Spies on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Brandon?
I haven't seen. Actually, I don't think I've seen any of these movies.
Jeez.
But
Brandon.
from what I've heard, I mean, Straight Outta Compton is something I've been wanting to see for ever since it came out. Just haven't got a chance. So, I mean, that the way that the reviews have been, I would say that's probably in the lead. But I wouldn't be surprised if Inside Out won. I wouldn't be surprised if Bridge of Spies won. I mean, I think all of these, except for maybe Spotlight, I think it's between those
Remember
four.
which one was Spotlight?
I'm trying to remember.
Spotlight was about the Boston newspaper or the
Yes,
Boston news
that's right,
outlet that
the
uncovered
journalists.
the Catholic
Yeah.
Church scandals.
Okay.
So,
That might win. I don't
for
know.
me, original screenplay is definitely got to be Straight Outta Compton, and also still with the Oscars so white kind of debacle, I can
yeah.
definitely see Straight Outta Compton
Yeah.
becoming kind of almost like a just an award that
Peace
they give.
kinda
Like
peacekeeping thing.
almost like a consolation prize for people of color, which is unfortunate. But I do see it playing out that way with Straight Outta Compton being best original screenplay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
I mean, you said yours, yeah. And you said we went Straight Outta Compton. Let's get quickly through the sound mixing and sound editing. I mean, I mean, Star
did
Wars
mention it.
for.
Star Wars or Mad Max? I think Mad Max had terrific sound throughout the whole movie between the guitar and the just the sound of the cars and stuff like that. I think that might win.
if history repeats itself, it's going to be Star Wars.
Okay.
With how much sound goes into it, the music, how each individual character has their own theme song, those type of things, that's what gets them to win these type of awards.
That's why I think it gets original score too.
Yeah, probably.
Because so. I mean, as you said, the character for every single one, every single scene.
The music is Star Wars.
Not to mention,
that's
I'm
the
curious
biggest part
as to
of it.
Mad Max's non-original score, which is interesting.
I wouldn't say original score. I don't think Star Wars is going to win the original score.
No?
I don't think so either. I think
Absolutely
maybe
not.
the Hateful Eight. If you
Yeah,
guys
I
have
can
seen
see
that,
Hateful
I
Eight
think
winning.
Hateful Eight might win.
Ennio Morricone is
Or
amazing.
Carol might win for original score. But
Let's
yeah,
go
I think that's
to makeup and hairstyling, and I'll read the three, but this is easy for me. Mad Max, 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared, or The Revenant. It's Mad Max to me by a landslide.
Yeah.
Landslide to me. What they did with what were they called? The white figures. I forget the name
No,
of them.
even the Revenant though had terrific.
But it was terrific. But in comparison to what they did with the practical
that's
effects
true.
with those guys, it's unmatched. That was incredible. What they did with and I don't know what they were, but like the little things they had all over their bodies, like they were built into their skin.
Swords.
Yeah, like that was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
It was
that
incredible.
might very well win. Let's go to the next one, costume design.
Costume design.
So the contenders for this one is Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. I think, again, Mad Max Fury Road might win, or The Danish Girl, just because of that era and the significance of that movie about being transgendered in that time.
I think you could throw The Revenant in here too, with possibility with costume design, because all the built.
It did keep true to the period.
Yeah,
time
so
period.
and it looks really good. I think it's competition, but I think again it could be a sweep in terms of the looks with the makeup and hairstyling and costume design could both go to Mad Max.
Unfortunately, go ahead.
Mad Max can easily
Sweep those two.
I mean, and
I think
not
I have
just
to-
with those. I mean, with a lot of these.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Mad Max will clean up the art and visual department because that was.
Well, it's
Yeah.
between them and Star Wars
Yeah.
for certain ones.
Yeah.
I think those are the main competitors.
Star Wars non-costume design. It's
I'm
interesting.
not surprised.
No?
No, because
It's not really original. They use
they,
costumes
yeah,
that they use in all their movies. you
yeah,
know?
and the costumes aren't, I think, as big in Star Wars as these other movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more about the visual effects and all
For
that.
sure.
So.
Yeah.
For sure. Next up is directing, which is a big one.
Again, Mad Max.
Mad Max is like in pretty much
Yeah,
everything.
George Miller is amazing.
Well, you know what? I was thinking for a moment, but just overall, I was thinking Big Short for a moment. It's great, but it's in a different stratosphere, I think, than all these. The Revenant too. I always forget the Revenant's in there as well.
Both Inarritu, but George Miller coming back on the scene with a new Mad Max Fury Road might take it. Inarritu, though, to go 2 years in a row, I think that's very bold.
Did it win Best Directing and Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for Birdman.
Birdman was great.
Birdman and Inarritu won for that one.
think,
But
yeah,
also
he
at the
might
Golden
win.
Globes, he repeated. So
I think he might win the Revenant.
And I think this is one of the only categories that Big Short is in, which is unfortunate because in directing it's gonna be tough to beat out one of those two.
a lot of the actors from Big Short got nominated. We can get into that
Okay,
a little
cool,
bit
we'll get
later,
into
but
those.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think Mad Max.
So Mad Max.
I'm gonna go with directing.
Ooh, what did you
It's
say?
close.
I'm gonna say Inarritu does it again. Revenant.
That's not
Revenant.
a big.
Revenant.
I'm gonna say Mad Max.
Mad Max?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say Revenant.
All right, what's up next?
Actress in a supporting role. So up is Jennifer Jason Leigh in The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara in Carol, Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs. Kate Winslet has been actually, has had a lot of buzz about this movie, so I think she might win the supporting actress role.
Rare for me to say, but this is a category I actually have not seen any of those five.
Really?
Steve Jobs, I need to see.
I was gonna watch Steve Jobs 2 nights ago,
Yeah.
and I fell asleep. But that's the movie that, same with Best Actor, same with just this movie was that good that it's something that I think everyone.
I think I'm
needs
so
to
jaded
see.
from the Ashton Kutcher version that I just haven't seen.
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah.
Jobs one,
Yeah,
this new
fair
But
one.
I think this
Yeah.
one's a little
So-
bit different. I think this is
Yeah, I
more.
think it's more in depth, right?
Yeah, it's more.
more real.
And it's not showing the beginning, all
Yeah.
that crap that we've seen over
Right.
and over again. It's
It's more about his
like,
family and
Right.
stuff like that.
What do you guys' picks
Okay.
on this one?
I say Kate Winslet.
Okay. By you two?
I'm going with Kate Winslet and Steve Jobs, but Alicia Vikander and the Danish Girl. She's a star on the rise, and she also played the lead in Ex Machina as well. So she shows some range. Yeah.
All right, what's up next?
Actor in a supporting role. So in this one, it is Christian Bale in The Big Short, Tom Hardy in The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone in Creed, which I'm surprised Sylvester Stallone got picked for that.
You shouldn't be. Sylvester Stallone did put in an amazing performance, and I don't want to say he overshadowed Michael B. Jordan at all, because Michael B. Jordan actually, I think, in my mind, should have been nominated for a leading role. But but that's
one of the controversies.
that's one of the controversies.
Yeah.
And also, he is young. He's got plenty of his career
yes,
left, so
I'm
don't
sure,
worry about
I'm
that. For all you Michael B. Jordan fans, I remember him from Friday Night Lights. I thought he was amazing. But for me, I think actor in a supporting role, it does go to Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
The Academy loves him. The Academy loves Sylvester Stallone, and then Stallone loves the Academy.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Creed. Have any of you three seen The Big Short?
Yes.
No,
If-
not yet. I want to
if-
see it though.
For me, it was close if we saw more of Christian Bale.
Okay.
If we saw more of what we saw, I think it was a great sample size of what we saw, but it wasn't enough for me to put him over the top of Tom Hardy. I think, and again, Tom Hardy in The Revenant was absolutely phenomenal. We got. Tom Hardy is so good at just adapting to the actor. And I know that kind of sounds obvious
To the character,
excuse me. And again, that sounds obvious, but the way that you would define what he does, he just does it so well. And again, it would have been really close for me if Christian Bale, we saw more of him in Big Short. You could probably attest to that too. It just wasn't enough for me to consider that. If it would have been more of a contest to me, but I think Tom Hardy's going to take it.
Right.
And again, we continue this sweeping of Mad Max here, for me at least. What do you guys think? What about you?
For actor.
Yeah,
Best supporting
actor
role.
supporting role.
I'm gonna say Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
Same what you said. They love him. He loves them. I mean these other ones, I could see maybe Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies. I heard his name. He was kind of getting some looks,
Attention.
but it's probably gonna be Sylvester Stallone.
I think it's going to be a toss-up between Mark Ruffalo, actually, in Spotlight, and Tom Hardy. I think it's going to be really close between those two. So I'm going to say either one of those guys, I think, might take the Oscar home.
Okay, what's up next?
Actress in a leading role.
Do you want cinematography first?
Oh, wait, where's
Did we do cinematography yet?
No, we didn't. We actually skipped that. Okay, cinematography. Carol, The Hateful Eight, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, and
Sicario.
Sicario. Okay.
I think it's easy again.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna.
I think it might be The Revenant.
No, I'm going Revenant.
I'm going to go to Revenant for
Really?
this one.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of these are between
The Revenant and Mad
As
Max.
far as visual and or anything like that, it's Mad Max, The Revenant, and Star Wars.
Well, for me, and I want to tease to what my pick will be, but everything other than the plot itself, we'll put Mad Max in the conversation because how marvelous everything was, aside from the story, which we'll touch on in a little moment. But, but yeah, it's up for those two. All right, what's up next?
So yeah, back to actress in a leading role. So it's up to Cate Blanchett in Carol, Brie Larson in Room. She actually she won a Golden Globe. Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, Charlotte Rampling, 45 Years, and I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn.
Another cat. I need to see some
I
of these. I haven't
think
seen those.
it's going to be between Brie Larson, who took home the Golden Globe for her outstanding performance in Room, and Jennifer Lawrence in Joy. Both very talented young actors that are starting to get so much attention. So I think they're going to win.
I think Brie Larson is, once again with Alicia Vikander, is going to be amazing. She's an amazing actress. I remember seeing her, I believe it was in Safe House, but she played, she was playing a counselor, a psychological counselor, who previously was at that safe house as a teenager, and kind of the emotional kind of turmoil was there. And she definitely is deserving of any kind of award that she gets, and I think it's Brie Larson.
She's really grown.
About you?
Yeah.
Same with me. I haven't seen this.
I'm going to say Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
Just because of her name. I think that's I think that's just going to be something that's going to be a theme here at the Oscars. It usually is. So, you know, same with like Mad Max, Revenant, just big names.
Well, she also took home a Golden Globe too. So.
Yeah. I mean, just to me, this one's easy, and I think it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay. Should we, and because of what is going to be an actor in a leading role, want to do Best Picture first, just because of how big the actor in a leading role one is this year? Want to do Best Picture first?
Let's do Best Picture
Let's
first.
do Best
Yeah,
Picture.
okay.
Okay. So it is The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight.
I want The Martian.
I haven't.
Wow, really?
I think that
love The
actually might
Martian.
win.
Haven't seen The Martian.
I think
I
it
need
might
to.
win.
I know.
See,
Best Picture.
The Martian, to me, was the best movie I've seen.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what
More
my
than Star
folks
Wars.
even said.
Yeah, The Martian was funny. I mean, it was intense. It was just, to me, it was by far my favorite movie.
I mean, to your credit, I'm a little surprised by your answer, but to your credit, The Martian has wide appeal, extremely wide appeal. So I'm surprised, but you bring up some good points. For me, it's The Revenant.
Okay.
It was hands down for me the best movie I've seen. I think Ian Iñárritu does it again, and he's actually becoming one of those directors where he's a must see. He's just a must see. You have to see the newest Iñárritu movie. What about you, Mel?
You know, if we want to be surprised at the Oscars, I think The Martian will win. But if we want to go for, okay, of course it won, The Revenant.
Right.
So, yeah.
Let me preface this by saying, and this was the same thing I was talking about with actors in the supporting role. I felt like The Big Short was like a snippet. It wasn't a full. It didn't feel like the entirety of a full movie. It felt like it's hard to explain. And you've seen it, so maybe kind of get what I'm at, but it just didn't feel like we saw everything that the movie could have been. So that's why I consider it for a little bit, but then I tossed it to the side. Mad Max cleans it up almost for every category for me, except for this one. The second time I saw it, the plot just got lost a little bit. It didn't get me as much the second time. This is where the Mad Max comes to an end. And with you guys, The Revenant was just. And again, I haven't seen The Martian, but The Revenant is. I think it's going to take this one.
Watch The Martian tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Martian's fun.
All right.
It has some good
All right. And
It won as a comedy for Golden Globes, which was weird.
that,
But,
yeah.
but
okay.
it was funny.
I was
It was
wondering
funny,
now. I'll have to
but-
see that to wonder. I was
Matt
wondering.
not a true
Damon
comedy.
was
Okay.
incredible.
And finally, what's the last category, Melanie?
Actor in a leading role. Okay, so Bryan Cranston, who I love. I loved him in Breaking Bad. I think he's a phenomenal actor, but he is getting nominated for his work in Trumbo. Matt Damon in The Martian. Leonardo DiCaprio, my husband, in The Revenant.
I thought he was future husband. He's already your husband? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No.
what
No.
I have to explain. Michael Fassbender and Steve Jobs and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. Now, I heard Eddie Redmayne did The Danish Girl beautifully. So
he did.
If you did anything like Theory of Everything, then somebody's in trouble.
I
because
know,
That was
I know.
killer.
I'm praying that Leo takes home
not
Let me-
Oscar.
let
I
me-
don't know if he is.
Can I
hope he
say
does.
something that's going to make you a little angry, and it makes me angry having to say this. First of all, I haven't seen Steve Jobs, and by what I've heard, the competition is between Leo and Steve and
Michael
Fassbender.
Fassbender.
He's amazing.
I haven't seen that. That's what it sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for me. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Really, I think he's a phenomenal actor. I'm not saying that they did do this. This is what I initially thought, and I'm backtracking a little bit. I initially thought that they really tried to get him to try hard. And I know that sounds bad. So I preface this by saying I'm taking that comment back. But I think not even on accident, but just unintentionally, it felt like it was too much for me in The
Like he was
Revenant.
trying too hard?
And this guy wants an Oscar. We know this. I don't think he went in the movie thinking like that. I just think that's the result we ended up with. Yeah. It was still a phenomenal movie. As we heard, I picked it for Best Picture along you guys, but I think And what was it? The guy who came out and talked about how it kind of said those kind of comments. What was his name from the movie we just saw, Hail Caesar? The main character. What's the main actor's name? No. The other main character.
Josh Brolin.
Yes, Josh Brolin came out with comments talking about his role in Revenant and how he didn't like it. And his comments were kind of like, I get where he's kind of coming from because a lot of groaning, a lot of not dialogue. While it was phenomenal acting does not say that you have to have extensive dialogue.
Exactly.
But I think at this point it didn't feel like it was the full circle acting job we've seen from Leonardo DiCaprio in the past. In the past, we've seen roles that could have won. This has not been his. Would you say this has been his best role? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's been his best role, but it was such a high intensity role.
It was.
I would love to see him just get
but we can't just give it to him.
I know.
Well,
just credit for what he's done.
Here's
There's
my
a good
thing.
chance
It's
I think
like
they might
he
give it to
got
him anyway.
mauled by a bear. So it's like
CGI bear.
Okay, a CGI bear.
That is true. Well, I think the CGI part's a huge part of it because that means he acted all of that out. Now, granted, he did that first, and then they made the bear around him.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little easier. It's not like you had to act with the bear like live, like it's
don't
actually
know.
I was
there.
just trying to make a joke there, but
No,
I think Leonardo DiCaprio, they actually kind of will give him the award. It'll just spike the ratings. Everybody will go nuts.
I think that-
I think it will happen.
I think they'll just give it to him.
And then
I think they're gonna give it to him.
And I think it's more just the culmination of his, of the entire body of
It's
his
like
work.
they're going to give him a lifetime award.
Almost,
Essentially.
pretty much.
Essentially, if they
Pretty
do
much.
it, it could be the effect of giving him a
Or it
lifetime
could be a running joke, running inside joke.
Yeah.
Hey, we're never going to give Leo anything. The
horrible.
man doesn't need anything. He's rich.
Have you seen that?
He's
Okay, I'm gonna
worked
say
with
this one last
Scorsese
time.
all the time.
They're gonna
He
make
works
it. They're
amazing
gonna make a
actors.
movie in 20 years of a guy playing Leonardo DiCaprio, and that guy's gonna win an Oscar. I have seen that meme before, and it's atrocious, but it's kind of.
I
Brandon,
think-
what about you?
I think Michael Fassbender, right?
Fassbender?
Is that what we're all saying?
It's Fassbender.
Fassbender.
Probably.
It's easy.
I gotta see it.
I'm going
I
DiCaprio.
I hope,
right, he's going Leo.
I hope Leo wins.
It's
but I
not-
think Fassbender might take it.
I guarantee you it's going to be Fassbender.
All right.
I'm 100% sure it will be him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
right.
with the Apple scandal too in the afternoon.
With that confidence on.
Yeah.
On that note.
Sorry, but it's just he's never going to get
Sounds
one.
good.
I'm sorry. And to me it's funny. I think it's great that he hasn't got one.